Leora returned to the repair bay the next day, but this time she walked with a quiet purpose. The moment she stepped through the doorway, her bond meter pulsed beneath her sleeve, warm and steady like a soft heartbeat. She pressed her hand against it, trying to calm it down, but the device reacted to one thing only: the presence of the human named Evan. He noticed her immediately. He was wiping engine oil from his hands and looked surprised, but pleased to see her again. "You're back," he said with an easy smile. "I was hoping you'd stop by. I didn't get to finish helping you yesterday." Leora gave him a small nod. She wished she could tell him the truth about why she returned, but she knew her words had to be careful. Her people guarded their bonding traditions strongly, and humans were completely unaware of their meaning. She didn't want to cause fear, confusion, or misunderstanding. "I came because I have questions," she said softly. "If you are not too busy." "I always have time for questions," Evan replied. He picked up a metal stool, dusted it off, and offered it to her. She sat while he returned to the engine core he was repairing. He glanced at her occasionally, as if waiting for her to begin. Leora watched him before speaking. Everything about him seemed calm and steady. His movements were careful, not rushed. His voice had a natural gentleness. She wondered if the bond meter reacted to these qualities, or if it sensed something deeper she could not yet understand. "I want to learn about humans," she said finally. "Not from records or data, from someone who lives as one." Evan raised a brow. "That sounds serious." "Why the sudden interest?" Leora hesitated, choosing her words with care. "My people do not often spend time with humans. They think humans are different." "Different how?" he asked, amused. "Emotional," she said. "Unpredictable. Quick to act, slow to think." He laughed. "That sounds about right." Leora blinked. "You agree?" "Sure, humans aren't perfect," he said. "But those things also make us brave. We take risks, we push limits. Sometimes that causes problems, but sometimes it helps us do things other species never try." She listened closely. His answer was simple, but it carried honesty. She admired that. Most nobles on her homeworld would have used elegant, careful words. Evan chose truth over perfection. She asked more questions. "Do humans trust easily?" "Not always," he said. "But when we do, we trust with our whole heart." "Do humans keep their word?" "Depends on the human," he chuckled, "but good ones try." Leora found herself studying him more than his answers. His tone was steady, his expressions open, his posture relaxed. Her bond meter glowed softly, confirming what she already felt. There was something unique about him. Evan looked at her curiously. "Why are you asking all this? Did someone tell you humans were trouble?" "My counsel," she admitted. "They believe humans cannot form deep connections with my kind." He shrugged. "Seems they haven't met enough humans." She smiled quietly at that. Her people believed in destiny, resonance, and harmony during bonding. Humans believed in choice, courage, and heart. Two very different ideas, yet somehow, at this moment, they didn't seem so far apart. Evan wiped his hands and leaned against the engine frame. "What about you? What do your people believe? You're a star-linked, right?" "Yes." "I've never met one before," he said. "You seem calmer than most people I know." Leora tilted her head. "Calm?" "Yeah," he said. "You listen. You think before talking. It's peaceful." She felt a gentle warmth in her chest. No one had ever described her like that before. On her world, being calm was expected. Being thoughtful was normal. But hearing it from him made her heart feel strange, as if the air around her grew softer. She lowered her eyes. "Thank you." A quiet moment passed. Evan returned to work, and Leora found comfort in watching him. Every movement he made seemed honest, without pretense. She admired how he fixed machines with patience, how he smiled at small things, how he treated strangers with kindness. Her bond meter pulsed again, stronger this time. She pressed her sleeve down and looked away before he noticed. When the engine started humming again after his repairs, Evan stepped back proudly. There we go. Good as new. He wiped his forehead. So, Leora, what brings someone like you to a trade station? You don't seem like the usual travelers. Leora hesitated again. She had never told a human her true position. If she told him she was a princess, he might treat her differently. She did not want that. She wanted him to see her as herself, not as a title. I came to learn, she said simply, to see the galaxy without guards or advisors. That sounds brave, he said. She blinked. Brave? Sure. Most important people stay surrounded by security. You're out here alone. That takes courage. Courage. It was a word her council used rarely. They valued wisdom, strategy, and caution. Evan valued courage and heart. She wondered which of their values mattered more in the universe. As she thought, her bond meter pulsed again. This time she gently held her wrist, hiding the glow with her hand. Evan noticed her movement. Are you hurt? No, she said quickly. Just thinking. He nodded, accepting her answer without pressing further. When he offered to take a short break, they walked toward a small canteen near the repair bay. They sat across from each other at a quiet table. The place was warm, filled with soft light and steady background hums from machines working behind the walls. Leora tried a warm drink Evan suggested. It surprised her with its taste, simple, sweet, and calming. She watched him talk about his life, his work, his home on Earth. He described mountains, rivers, and forests. She had seen pictures before, but hearing him speak made the images feel alive. He told her about growing up in a small town, about fixing old tools with his father, about wanting to explore the stars since childhood. His dreams had carried him farther than he expected. His voice carried pride, not arrogance. Leora listened with genuine interest. She had met leaders, warriors, and scholars, but she had never met someone who spoke with such simple sincerity. Evan did not try to impress her, he simply shared his truth. She felt the bond meter warm again. She placed her hands on her lap, hiding her reaction. Evan leaned forward, curious. Can I ask you something now? Yes. Why were you really looking for me yesterday? He asked gently. You said you wanted to learn about humans, but is that the only reason? Leora looked down at her cup. Her heart felt heavy with truth she could not reveal. She wanted to tell him everything, that his touch had activated her bond meter, that it had glowed brighter for him than for anyone in her life, that her people believed such resonance meant something powerful and rare. But she could not tell him. Not yet. Not until she understood it better herself. She chose her words carefully. Something happened when you touched me. I do not understand it. I wish to learn why. Evan looked surprised. Something happened? Did I shock you? Static, maybe? She shook her head. No, it was something else. He nodded slowly. All right. If there's something I can help with, just tell me. His willingness made her chest warm again. Her bond meter pulsed in soft approval. She pressed her sleeve to hide it. She decided to ask him something important. Will you come with me somewhere? He blinked. Where? There is a place inside the station, she said softly. Old tunnels from the earlier time. They were once used by my people. I need to test something there. Is it dangerous? He asked. A little, she admitted. But not too much if we are careful. He studied her face, and she saw the moment he made his choice. Then I'll go with you. She didn't know why her heart lifted at those words. She only knew she needed him there. Not as protection, not as a guide, but as someone whose presence changed something deep inside her. As they walked through the quieter parts of the station, the lights dimmed, and the air felt older, untouched for years. Leora led the way, but she kept glancing back to ensure Evan stayed close. She felt safer with him walking behind her, even though she could protect herself if needed. When they reached the heavy doors of the old resonance tunnels, Leora stood still for a long moment. She placed her hand on the panel, and ancient symbols glowed beneath her touch. The door opened with a low hum. Evan looked impressed. "This place looks older than the station." "It is," she said. "Much older." The air inside held a quiet hum of old energy. Leora walked slowly, her breath steady, her heart unsure. The bond meter pulsed again, guiding her toward the center chamber. Evan stayed close, his steps quiet but confident. Leora felt the pull inside her grow stronger with every step. Soon, the truth she had feared and hoped for would reveal itself, and she knew, with a quiet certainty, that nothing in her life would be the same after today. The tunnels grew darker as Leora and Evan walked deeper inside. The air felt different here, still quiet, almost like the walls were guarding ancient secrets. Faint lines of old symbols glowed along the stone, reacting softly to Leora's presence. Evan walked behind her with a lamp in hand, shining light ahead so she would not have to walk in darkness. She heard his steady breaths and felt strangely comforted by them. Her bond meter pulsed again beneath her sleeve, warm and constant. Every step closer to the center chamber made the warmth grow. She held her wrist gently, trying to keep her emotions steady. She did not want Evan to notice anything unusual yet. She did not know how to explain it. Evan looked around with wide curiosity. "Your people built this?" "Yes," she said quietly. "Long ago, before my grandparents were born, before my world joined the wider galaxy." Evan touched the wall gently. "It's beautiful. Even the air feels different here." Leora nodded. These tunnels were made for meditation, reflection, and bond testing. They were used to confirm important connections. "Connections like friendship?" Evan asked. "Something deeper," she replied softly, but she did not explain further. Her heart beat faster the more they walked. She could feel the ancient energy humming around them. It was faint, like a memory, but still alive. Her people believed that places held echoes of emotion. This chamber held echoes of thousands of years. At last they reached a round doorway carved with star-shaped symbols. Leora stood still for a moment. She closed her eyes and breathed deeply. Evan noticed the tension in her shoulders. "Are you sure you want to go in?" he asked gently. "I must," she whispered. She pressed her palm against the stone. The door responded, glowing softly before sliding open. A wave of cold air drifted out, but underneath it was a warmth that touched her heart. It reminded her of home, of her ancestors, of everything her people believed. Inside the chamber, the floor was smooth and dark, like polished crystal. In the center stood a tall stone pedestal with a wide, flat top. Carved lines ran along its sides, meeting at the top like a starburst. At the center of that starburst rested the resonance stone. It was large, smooth, and pale, like a glowing moon frozen in place. Leora walked toward it slowly, feeling her breath deepen, her heartbeat quicken. Evan stopped at the edge of the room, watching her with quiet respect. She turned to him. "This stone reacts only to true compatibility. It can sense balance between two souls. This is why I brought you here." Evan swallowed lightly. "And you want to see if it reacts to us?" Leora hesitated, surprised by how easily he understood. "Yes, I need to know if what happened was real." He nodded slowly. "Whatever it is, I'll help." His willingness made her chest feel warm again. She stepped closer to the stone and placed her hand gently on its surface. The stone stayed dark, unchanged, just like it always did when touched by her alone. "It needs 2 hands," she said softly. "One from each person." Evan approached slowly, unsure, but trusting her. He stood beside her, close enough for her to feel the warmth of his presence. Her bond meter pulsed harder now, almost urgent. She hoped he didn't hear the faint vibration. He looked at her. She nodded. He reached out and placed his hand on the stone beside hers. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the stone woke. Light spread across its surface like ripples moving through water. The faint hum in the room turned into a deep, soft vibration that rolled through the floor and the air. The light grew brighter, lifting small particles of dust into the air like tiny floating stars. Evan stepped back, startled, but Leora gently touched his arm. "It's all right," she whispered. Her touch steadied him. He took a slow breath and watched the light grow stronger. The resonant stone glowed with a soft white flame, and lines of brightness spread down the pedestal, across the floor, and up the walls. The entire chamber came alive with ancient energy. Leora felt her heart tremble with emotion. She knew what this meant. No test was more accurate than a resonance stone. It had remained silent for decades, even centuries, but now it sang with light because of one simple reason. Their bond was real, not a mistake, not a malfunction, a true, rare connection, a once-in-a-lifetime harmony that most people never experienced. Her eyes softened as she looked at the glowing chamber. "It confirmed it," she said quietly. Evan stared at the shining stone. "Confirmed what, Leora?" She struggled for words. Her mind raced with truth she had hidden for too long. "My people believe that when 2 souls match, their energy aligns. A bond is not just emotion. It is harmony between life energies. It is deeper than friendship or affection." Evan looked confused, but listened carefully. "My bond meter reacted to you when you touched me," she continued. "I tried to deny it. I tried to reset it, but it kept glowing. That is why I brought you here. This stone reacts only to true bonds. It does not lie." He stared at her gently. "And it reacted because of me." "Yes," she whispered. The hum softened as the light settled into a steady glow, filling the chamber with a peaceful warmth. Evan turned toward the stone again, uncertain. "Leora, are you saying your people think we're connected somehow?" "My people believe this kind of connection is meaningful," she replied. "Rare, powerful, something that can shape one's future." He looked down at his hands, clearly trying to understand something far beyond the human idea of connection. She watched him closely, wondering if he felt anything unusual. She did. She felt a pull inside herself every time she looked at him. A pull stronger than fear, stronger than confusion, stronger than logic. Evan finally spoke. "I don't know much about your traditions, but I know one thing. If this bond means something to you, then I won't run from it." Her breath caught. "You will not?" "No," he said quietly. "I don't understand it yet, but I trust you. And if you think this is important, then I'll stand with you while we figure it out." Those simple words filled her chest with warmth she couldn't explain. She felt the energy of the stone lift around them like a soft wave. Her bond meter glowed beneath her sleeve, confirming his sincerity. The stone hummed again, as if agreeing with his words. But the moment of peace was suddenly interrupted. A deep vibration pulsed through the chamber, different from the stone's energy. Leora froze. Evan looked around, confused. "What was that?" he asked. Leora stepped back from the stone. "That was not the resonance stone. That was a signal." "A signal?" Evan frowned. "Yes," she whispered. "The chamber sent a pulse outward. It is ancient programming. When a true bond forms, it announces the event to my people. Anyone monitoring star-linked energy patterns will detect it. Evan's eyes widened. So, someone out there knows what happened here? Yes, she said softly. My council will know, and they will not understand. She felt her heart sink. Her people were wise, but they were also strict. They followed traditions tightly. A human bonding with a star-linked princess would be seen as impossible, dangerous, or forbidden. Evan sensed her fear. Leora, what will they do? I do not know, she whispered, but they will come for me. Maybe for both of us. The ancient hum faded, leaving the chamber quiet again. The resonance stone dimmed slowly, though a soft glow remained, as if it refused to lose hope. Evan stepped closer, his voice steady. Whatever happens, we'll handle it together. Leora looked at him, her heart full. She had known him only a short time, yet she trusted him more than she trusted many who had known her for years. The stone's glow reflected in his eyes, and she felt a strange calm settle inside her. Her bond meter pulsed with a rhythm that matched her heartbeat. The truth was clear now. A bond had formed between them, real, rare, and undeniable. But now that the council knew, their worlds were about to collide. Leora stood in the quiet resonance chamber, trying to calm her breathing, but her heart beat faster with every passing second. Evan stayed beside her, confused, but steady. The soft glow from the resonance stone slowly faded, yet the warmth between them stayed alive, as if the chamber itself refused to forget what it had witnessed. Another deep vibration moved through the floor. This one was stronger. Leora knew what it meant. Her people's ships were arriving. She turned toward the doorway and whispered, "They are here." Evan took a step closer. "Your council?" "Yes," she said softly. "They will want answers. And they will not be gentle in their questions." Evan hesitated. "Do they know I'm human?" "They know someone bonded with me," Leora said. "But they will not expect it to be a human. They think it is impossible." Evan exhaled slowly. "Then I guess we're about to surprise them." She looked at him with a mixture of fear and admiration. His calmness comforted her more than anything her people could offer at this moment. They walked back through the tunnels together. The lights flickered softly as if guiding their steps. When they reached the entrance, the heavy doors slid open on their own, responding to the approaching star-linked ships. Beyond the tunnels, the station lights turned a cool blue, a color used only when royal ships arrived. Leora and Evan stepped into the wide hallway just as a group of star-linked guardians appeared. Their tall forms carried a quiet strength. Their silver markings glowed brighter than Leora's, showing their rank. At the front stood Elder Marin, one of the council leaders. His eyes locked on Leora first, then on Evan. Confusion filled his face, followed quickly by disbelief. "Princess Leora," he said, his voice sharp, "you activated the ancient bond signal." Leora bowed slightly. "Yes, Elder Marin." "Where is the one who triggered the resonance with you?" he demanded. Leora lifted her chin. "He is standing beside me." Marin turned to Evan, studying him like he was looking at something impossible. "A human?" he whispered. "This cannot be. The stone does not react to humans. It never has." "It did today," Evan said gently. Marin's eyes narrowed. "Human, you do not understand the weight of what has happened. A resonance bond can shape the fate of our people. It guides future paths, unites families, joins souls. Humans are not compatible with star-linked harmonics. This is a mistake." Leora stepped in front of Evan, guarding him with her presence. "The stone does not make mistakes. Neither does my bond meter. It reacted to him without doubt." Marin shook his head. "You are confused, Princess. Humans are emotional beings. Their energies are unstable. You allowed yourself to become misled by kindness and curiosity." Leora held her ground. I know the difference between emotion and resonance. I felt the bond, and so did the stone. Evan placed a gentle hand on Leora's shoulder. Leora, it's okay. I don't want to cause trouble for you. But she stepped closer to him, refusing to move away. You are not the cause of trouble. The council's fear is... Marin's eyes sharpened. This cannot continue. You will return home immediately. The ritual to clear the bond must be performed before it becomes permanent. Evan looked confused. Clear the bond? What does that mean? Leora's chest tightened. It means they want to separate us. Evan's face fell. Separate us because of a glow in a stone? It is more than that to my people, Leora whispered. Marin raised his voice. Princess Leora, you will obey the council's order. This human has no place in our traditions. He is not one of us. He is not compatible. You must end this now. Leora turned to Evan with worry in her eyes. I will not let them force us apart, but I do not know how to stop them. Evan looked around, then back at her. Then we stand together. You said this bond means balance, harmony, trust. If that's true, then let's show them. Marin stepped forward, but Leora blocked his path. Elder Marin, with respect, I will not undergo any ritual until I speak before the full council. I demand a hearing. Marin frowned. A hearing is not necessary. Our traditions... A hearing is my right as a royal, Leora said, her voice firmer. You taught me that yourself. Marin stopped, clearly displeased but unable to deny the truth. Very well. But the human will not be allowed in the council hall. Then the council will not hear my full truth, Leora replied. Silence filled the hallway. Marin's jaw tightened. Bring the princess to the ship, he ordered the guardians. They stepped forward, but Evan moved to stand beside Leora. Marin scowled at him. Human, step aside. You cannot stop us. Evan didn't move. I'm not trying to stop anyone. I'm just staying beside her. That is the problem, Marin snapped. Leora felt her heart tighten. She looked between Evan and her people. This moment would decide everything. She reached for Evan's hand. Her bond meter pulsed so strongly it almost vibrated. Everyone saw the glow beneath her sleeve. Marin's eyes widened. The guardians stepped back. The bond meter only behaved like this when the connection was undeniable. Leora spoke softly but clearly. I choose to stand with him. The guardians froze. Marin stared at the glowing meter, his certainty shaking. This should not be possible. But it is, Leora whispered. Please, Elder Marin, do not judge humanity by old beliefs. Evan has shown me patience, honesty, and courage, qualities many from any species may never show. The stone recognized that, and so do I. Evan squeezed her hand gently. He didn't speak, but Leora felt the calm support in his presence. After a long moment, Marin finally lowered his head. Very well. The council will hear your case, and the human will be permitted to enter. Evan blinked. Me? In your council? Yes, Marin said reluctantly, though our laws may break for this unusual situation. Leora's heart softened with relief. She leaned closer to Evan. Thank you for staying beside me. Evan gave a small smile. I said I would. They boarded the star-linked ship together. The interior glowed with soft silver lights, and everything looked elegant and peaceful, but the air felt tense. Leora walked ahead, guiding Evan with gentle reassurance. He admired the beauty of the ship, but he knew this journey was not for sightseeing. It was for truth. When they reached the council chamber, 12 elders stood waiting, their markings bright like starlight. They looked at Evan with mixed expressions, curiosity, disbelief, concern. Leora stepped forward and spoke with steady voice. She explained everything, the bond meter lighting up, her attempts to reset it, her fear, her confusion, her choice to seek answers directly. She told them how Evan helped her, how he treated her with respect without knowing her rank, how he supported her without question. And then, she said softly, the resonance stone confirmed our bond. The chamber filled with shocked murmurs. No star-linked had ever bonded with a human. The idea seemed impossible, yet no one could deny the proof shown by the ancient stone. One elder stepped forward. "Human Evan Cole, do you understand what a bond means in our culture?" Evan looked at Leora, then at the elders. "Not fully," he admitted, "but I know that Leora is important, and if something connects us, even if it's strange, I'm not going to walk away from it." Leora felt her heartbeat warm. Another elder asked, "Do you intend harm?" Evan shook his head. "Never. And if the bond changes your future? Then I'll accept it," he said. The elders exchanged long glances. Silence filled the room, heavy and thoughtful. At last, Elder Marin stepped forward. "The bond is real," he said slowly. "The stone has spoken, and so has the princess." He looked at Evan. "Though you are human, the resonance cannot be ignored. You will not be separated." Leora exhaled with relief. Evan felt his shoulders loosen. Marin added quietly, "If the universe chose this connection, then we must respect it." Leora stepped closer to Evan, her heart light and warm. The bond meter pulsed softly, as if smiling with them. Evan whispered to her, "So, what happens now?" She smiled. "Now, we walk forward, together." And as they left the council hall side by side, the soft hum of harmony followed them, a promise that their two worlds, once divided by doubt, had finally taken their first step toward something new, something brighter, something bonded by destiny.